So we just download that to our desktop. Help if I have my glasses on. And it gives us a version warning. I have downsaved it for a reason. It's just the beginning model, so this is our template we'll be using. When we open up SketchUp, first things we have to open up, we need to go to Tools. I'm sorry. We need to go to View, Tool Palettes, Large Tool Set. So we can open SketchUp, go to View, Tools, Large Tools. It's not the template. It's not the template. Back up. You're not downloading the software, you're downloading the template. Okay. There we go. There's the president. Okay. Large tool set. Okay. Can we see the large tool set? It's under View, Tool Palettes, Large Tool Set. What that gives you is the large tool palette here on the left. And then Window, we want to make sure that layers are visible. You probably have, they're probably visible on the right-hand side. Yes? Yes, I can see materials, components, styles, and layers. On the right-hand side, there's the layers. Open up the layers. The layers, open that up. Just click on it once. That makes the layers visible. Toolbar. View. Toolbar. Large tools. Layers are on your right. Okay? So on this template, you can see I've built a couple of layers into this that we're going to be using. The reason why we use layers is so that we can turn them off in the future. Okay? Open up the template. And it's on canvas. We can see that there are some layers above the layers. Okay, turn them on or off. So you can see there's a little eyeball there. You can see the versatility of having things turned on and off. You can also see that one of them is the active layer. You can't turn off the active layer. But when you set up a SketchUp model, it's good to set things up in layers so that you can turn things on and off, and so that you don't have dramatic changes sticking to each other and the like. So So for now, please turn off the glass wall elevation and the glass shelf plan. So we just have the guidelines open and we just have the base frame open. And we did find in the last group that it helps to go up to the shape menu here, grab a rectangle and put a rectangle on the back. That's just something that we found worked better for us. Try that. We were working on base frame. I made base frame the active layer. You can see here, base frame is the active layer, it has the pencil on it. And I just go to the shapes menu, pick a rectangle, and drop a square into the back corner. It just seemed to work better for us in the last group, so try that. First SketchUp operation. So it fills in. Okay, you've emailed your tiles to yourself, yes? Go open those up on your desktop. Hopefully they are JPEGs. If they are PDFs, you can open Photoshop and save them as JPEGs. You can convert them. So. Once you have them emailed to yourself and on the desktop, just have them handy. I've got the elevation view and I've got the tile view here. I'll just go File, Import, and then I'll select that image, import, and I will drag it onto this back plane. And snap into place like that. And then I'll go File, Import, and I will pick the base tiles. These. And I'll drag them onto the floor, like so. Scale it up to this corner, it'll snap to the corner, like that. Okay? Do that. Email to yourself. Email them to yourself, or you can drop it in a box. I've set up box folders for you. You can start using that file to speak. Okay? Escape stops the operation whatever you're doing. So I recommend okay? Okay, a little tricky. Doesn't work, just click escape and try it again. Or undo and undo. Okay, undo. Undo. Yes, try it again. Good. Very important that these are on separate layers because SketchUp likes things to stick with things. They are. Okay. Those are on separate layers. Yes? Yes. Okay. Now turn on glass shelf plan and glass wall elevation. Turn those on. I've put a piece of glass in the computer speak, I should say. just over it like so, so that we're not drawing directly onto the tiles. It can get extremely difficult to see the geometry we're doing if we draw directly on the tiles. So I've made a piece of glass here and a piece of glass here. That's what these layers mean. Before I go any further, I'm going to put a new layer and call it new stuff and make that the active layer. So I'm going to make a new layer called new stuff and make that the active layer. I do that by clicking this little plus sign and making it new stuff and making that the active layer. Okay, so do that. All right, now let's start drawing some stuff. We ready to draw some stuff? Yes, no, maybe so? Finish how you're going to stuff? All right, good. All right. Active layer is called new stuff. So let's grab some shapes. Here's a circle. I'll just put that circle in the middle and draw it up like that. And then hit escape. And then grab the push-pull tool and go whoop. I'll grab a pencil. I'll trace a portion of this shape here. Make a compound shape, just tracing on the edges there. That'll close in, and then I can hover over it using the push-pull tool, my favorite tool, the push-pull tool. I can hover over it. If it's an enclosed shape, it'll hover as blue, and I just go. Oh, so satisfying, right? So satisfying. And then here I can take this trapezoid, start drawing that. You can always hit escape and start over or join from a previous geometry. Sketchup will not hate you for it. And make an enclosed shape and hover over it and then go. The orbit tool, which is the red and green arrow, you can orbit around the model, you can navigate around the model. The eyeglass tool, you just zoom in. The hand tool, we pan, orbit, hand, eyeglass. As they say in the region, the eyeglass. we want to zoom back out. Zoom extents just takes us all the way back out to the model. So let's just zoom in here and get in there and start drawing some stuff. Here's another thing I like to do. I like to make a rectangle around this, there, and then make another rectangle in the middle of it, like that, and then make a cylinder or a circle there, like that. These three shapes now are independent of each other. So if I click on this, you can see it highlights this, highlights this, highlights this, highlights this. Well, that means I can extrude them independent of one another. So that extrudes up as a box, this extrudes up as a cylinder, this extrudes up as a floor. So you can actually start to carve things by drawing the overall shape first. I can also do that afterwards. I can put a rectangle over the whole thing, over the whole tile, like that. Maybe, perhaps. I don't want to do that. I'll just make it short here. Morning. And I can extrude things up like this. So it starts to give me another way of looking at the tiles in the three-dimensional fashion. I've programmed the template to make these things out of glass so you can see through them, right? So we can still see through them. We'll make them solids in a few minutes, but for now, just get into your tiles and start drawing shapes and pulling them up, just for fun, okay? So get in here, start making a compound shape. There's a little home plate kind of looking thing. As we say in Indiana. Get a rectangle in there. Trace that over. It doesn't have to be precise. Pull it up. Get in here, trace over this rectangle. Pull it up. The model is scaled to full scale, so it's an 11-inch by 11-inch model. So you'll see measurements down here in the lower right based on real measurements. I haven't made this to scale at all. This is just a full scale model like it would be for a woodworking project or an industrial project or a product project. But this will just get you thinking about extruding some of these shapes as solids from the floor itself and get you thinking about that. You can extrude them further. Of course, I can orbit. Any surface, if I select it like so, can be pulled again. So I can pull that further. I select that surface, highlight it. I can grab the push-pull tool and pull it up further. I can also grab any surface and push it down again. Push it down again. Okay? So just get in there, start drawing some shapes, and start pulling them up. New layer, pushing and pulling it up. This is very similar to how planners will start to draw new massing from the map. So it's very similar. We bring in an image and then we start drawing footprints from that. start pushing and pulling from both the base and the back. See what happens when things start to collide. What kinds of spaces or overlaps or interesting things can start to happen. Remember, you're using this as a schematic, so you're loosely recreating what you have back here. I'm going to make this whole thing a solid, see what happens. I'm just going to draw. Oh, what should I do? Make that a solid or not? Did I? No. Let's see. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, yuck. That's interesting. Oh, I think I'll keep it. I like that. What do you know? I'll keep it. I'll love him and keep him and squeeze him and pet him and call him George. Okay. That's interesting. I think I'll keep it though. All right. Orbit around. Get onto the floor. Get down here. And start tracing some stuff down here. Get some triangles going. Let's pull those up. Circles in here, some trapezoids. I think I'll put a rectangle over this whole tile here and see what I can carve away from it. Just trace over these trapezoids here. These boxes here. Why is Deke talking to himself? Oh, I know. He's been in quarantine for a long time, so, you know, these things happen. Pull those up, pull those up, pull those up, and pull the whole thing up. I can see how I can pull the whole thing up. It's kind of fun. Like that. One portion of this whole area might be influenced by the tile, might not be. Orbit a little bit. And I'm going to grab and layer in some additional shapes. So just try this. It's another way of looking at it, another way of generating negative space relationships in the tiles. Another way of exploring what your tiles can do. I'll grab the push-pull tool and it will grab everything but. Like so. Whoa! And once that's extruded, then I can start carving away the sides by selecting the sides and deleting them away. Maybe I don't need that point. So a little bit of overlap here. But that's another way of sort of starting to extrude and then carve. So some interesting operations that we can start to do and explore. Looks like it came in as a different color, so I'll just select everything again and paint everything a solid color. And look at it again on the styles menus. Sometimes we can toggle back and forth between styles just so we can recognize it. That's interesting because it adds another interesting level of thinking behind the tiles. You start extruding them first and then you can carve them away. I'll just get in here. Some interesting shapes here. I'll start experimenting with some of the other tools. The 2-point arc is nice because it makes really easy arcs. Like I select 2 points and then I drag the arc into place. I can go from that reference point, make another arc from 2 points, drag it into place, grab the pen tool. I can continue from that point and continue tracing stuff. So I can make more stuff. Stuff is the theme of the day today, apparently. And then I can start extruding that up, like so. Orbit around, look for another shape. Line, start tracing this. I can hit escape and then grab the arc, pull that arc around, pull it into place, hit escape again, grab the pen tool. So any operation that you're done with or you don't want to continue, you just hit the escape tool. I'll just keep making this compound shape. Pull it up. Now, the plan view has a lot of small stuff, and the elevation view has a lot of big stuff. So maybe the two can work together in an interesting way to support or start to enclose space. There might be some fun ways of overlapping them. So there might start to become some overhead structure or overhead planes. There might be a series of columns that emerge from this. So maybe we can start pulling things up and having them pop into things, or terminate into things, or go past things. All that is part of the discovery here as this thing starts to take shape. Whatever this thing is. It's a different type of architecture. It's different. It's generated from something. So everything has a reference back to the original tile in some way. We call this generative design or generative architecture because this new architecture has been generated from a previous two-dimensional pattern. Observations, thoughts, reactions, what do you think? Fun, not fun? Fun? Okay. Any of you used something like this before? SketchUp or Inventor or Format or any of those? There's a couple things available for the iPad Pro now. I think Format is available. I think Autodesk has a 3D program for the iPad. Those are available. SketchUp is available as a free app, which it runs in a browser window. Gave you a link for that in Canvas. I also gave you a link to download a 2017 version to your laptop if you wish. That is a free version. It just means, though, that you're going to have to downsave everything, which I'll show you how to do that later on. At some point, though, you're not going to need the back panel or the base panel. What we can do is either turn off the layers that those are associated with. So if I turn off base frame, then it turns that off. And if I turn off glass wall elevation, it unfortunately takes away too many things. What I can do is I can start highlighting things and deleting them. You may not need the glass shelf anymore. You may not need the back panel. When we select things from the right, SketchUp will select everything that the thing touches. When we select things from the left, it will select everything that's enclosed by it. That's very important to remember. When we select things from the right, it deletes everything it touches. So we can delete things, get things cleaned up, eliminate things we don't want when we select things from the right. When we select things from the left, it only selects what is enclosed in that selection box. So try selecting things from the right versus selecting things from the left. You'll see the difference. And I'll start deleting things that I don't need. Just start cleaning up some stuff here. Got to make sure all of the layers are turned on. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Because it reaches a point when you will not need everything. So either isolate it on its own layer or you can delete it entirely. And then I'll zoom out just so I can get a view of everything. I'm going to select everything from the left like this, and then go to Window, and then Materials, and then open up some colors. Now mine look like this. They look like crayons, or they look like a color wheel, or there's sliders or spectrums. On your PCs, it's a pull-down menu of colors. There's a billion colors there. I'm just going to paint everything gray or white. I can do that by selecting the whole thing and painting it snow in this case. But there's different colors. There's a pull-down menu there that you can pull down colors and start to look at that. I also, if I'm done with these axes, I can go to View and turn off the axes, and the axes will go away. I can also turn off the guides, and the guides will go away. And I can start to look at this as its own figure, as its own piece of stuff. Now, I can start eliminating things too. Maybe I don't want that top plane, maybe I don't want this side plane. I can start carving into the model now and start carving stuff away so it starts to read as space rather than solids. That might be an interesting thing to think about as you move forward here. Maybe some things are carved so that they read as space as opposed to solid. You can also keep pushing and pulling as well. You can keep manipulating each of these. You add on to something, push this back, push this forward. You can still keep pushing and pulling as you work. Get it to a figure, get it to a nice thing so you can start to fly around it, look through it. On our large toolbar there's a little person here. That's the station point. We can set them like so. And then the eyeball, there's an eyeball here where we can look around and position the camera. There's 2 feet. We grab the 2 feet. We can actually start walking into the model like this. Whoa! Ah! Ah! And use the mouse wheel for that. It works really well. Okay. I'll zoom back to extents. Right now on camera we have perspective turned on. If I turn it off, it gives us a standard projection. So I can go to camera, standard views, top, look at it from the top. Standard view bottom, look at it from the bottom. Standard view front, that's the front elevation. Standard view left, that's the left elevation. Standard view right, that's the right elevation. Standard view isometric, it gives us a 30-30 isometric of the whole figure. Then, to add more drama, we go to Window, Shadows. Shadows should appear on your right-hand side. And a pull-down menu on your right-hand side. I just turn on the shadows here, and I put time of day and time of year. So we're in late September, September 27th, 28th, 29th. It is 10:28 a.m. So that would be the sun in this particular location at this time of day and this time of year.
So we can actually start to do solar studies right away. Also in your right-hand menu is the fog. I like the fog. The fog is nice. It sort of softens a lot of the shadows. Whoops. Can make it disappear though. Can't make the whole model disappear, as in the case there. But I can fade it back in. Whoop. And starts to give it a little bit of mystical looking thing, so the shadows aren't as severe. You can see you can soften the shadows a little bit. So shadows and fog, fun things, very fun things. Turn those on and off, toggle them on and off. You can check out these different options on faces, on ground. Toggle those on and off. And then we go to Window Styles. Styles are also on your right-hand menu. They're in pull-downs. There's a number of styles, that you can send the model through. So if we look at assorted styles, we can make it look like a watercolor drawing. We can make it look like a pastel. We can make it look like a blueprint. Some of y'all, these ancient blueprints with white outlines, linen drawing. This is a fun one. It's called generic CAD. We can make it look like an amberlith. This is what computers looked like when I was in college. Sketchy lines, crazy stuff. Color sets, we go to color sets. This one's nice. This is colorblind style. It makes all of your edges white. And it just looks really space age, kind of super modern. There's a couple of fun styles in there. Just click on those, try them out. Keep playing with the shadows here. We can keep playing with those, get those in a position where we think it looks pretty cool. Keep playing with the fog. Keep dragging it around until we find some nice views that we really, really like. So I go to View, I turn off the axes, get rid of those. Probably do standard views, shoot the isometric there, like this. And then I want to start saving some images. So we may want to start saving some images. So we export 2D graphic. We tell SketchUp what kind of graphic. Is it a JPEG, a PNG, or a TIFF? Whatever we want it to be. We can also export to AutoCAD. So if you want to start saving some PNGs or JPEGs, that could be interesting. Under PNG, we have the option of having a transparent background. That'll make, instead of having a blue sky, then it'll have a transparent background. Always a nice option. You can use the view size, or you can set it for a specific number of pixels. So I'll start saving these images now. So I'll go Tile Project, ISO 1, start saving those to my desktop. I'll take the Orbit tool, I flip it around to here. I'll go to Camera, Standard View, ISO. That'll snap it to the next isometric. Then I'll go Export 2D Graphic. We'll call that Isometric 2, or ISO 2. Maybe we look at the plan view, I take it from the top, here's the shadow casting there. Maybe I export that, export 2D graphic, tile project, plan view, export. Maybe I want to look at the front elevation or one of the sides. Camera standard view, left or right. Maybe I export that. Export 2D graphic, elevation. Okay, so that's how you can start exporting some 2D graphics once you get the model into a style and with shadows and fog that you like. Any style will work. It's just nice to have these different choices. Start exporting some 2D graphics. Then, when you're done, we're going to save the model as a lower version. I want to down save it to 2017. That way, if you elect to download the 2017 version of SketchUp Make to your personal computer, and your computer can run it, that way you can open this. Okay? So by down saving it, we make it compatible so we can grab that free version of SketchUp Make for our personal computer. The free version of Make currently is a web app, so it should open in that web app on any web browser you can look at the model you prefer. So any work you do today, you save that model as a 2017 version, you should be able to open it up almost anywhere. If you export some two-dimensional images and save those to your cloud, you'll have those as sketches. Okay? But it's very important to down save it so we have that possibility if we do elect to have SketchUp on our personal computer, that we down save it to version 2017. Okay. Always save it as a new file. This is the second group. And that's saved. Then I recommend you open up your box. So if you go to My BSU, go to Technology and Box Online Storage. And we go to CAP101, 161, Section 3, Studio D. You'll find folders associated with your name. Everything you've done today, your model and any exports that you make, drag them into your personal folder. You'll have them in your cloud. Okay? Make sense? Okay? I'll stop the recording and take a look at some of your work.